Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining NEOS Academy. Today, the Academy will be on templates. I am Pam Hodge, your host, Lauren Root, who is our knowledge base administrator, and we have Raina, who is our I almost said customer success, customer service engineer. Today's Academy will be going over templates. We're going to talk about the word add-in, NEOS tags, creating and saving new templates, uploading and editing templates. We're going to touch on PDF templates, how to set up email and SMS templates, and quick fills. And then we'll round out with Lauren going over our knowledge base. All right, we're going to give everybody like another minute. I see we've jumped quite a bit in the attendees, so we're just going to give everybody another minute before we get started. But when we start, Miss Lauren will be doing the screen share. So she will be going over installing your Word add-in and talking about the high level of once you get the add-in, how it works with Word, and then some of the different features when you're using templates. Once she concludes that, I will take over and we will actually edit an existing template. We'll create a new template, and then we'll go into our PDF templates. All right, it looks like we've slowed down, Lauren, so I'm going to turn the reins over to you. And just
Okay.
remember, everybody, if you do have questions, you have the Q&A down below. Miss Raina will be looking at those and answering those as we go along.
Great. Thank you so much, Pam. All right. So we are going to walk through the setup for the Word add-in. So before we do that, let's just take a look at our permissions. We're going to make sure that we have permissions for template setup, which is what Pam is going to walk through next, and also just the documents tab. So when she shares the example of running through the document generation, just making sure we have the right permissions. So if you are in settings, I'm going to go over to my permission groups and select a permission group here. And I will just go down to directories and then scroll just a little bit over to templates. Just make sure that you have enabled permissions so you have access to the template setup. You can add templates, which is what Pam will be showing you in a little bit. You can modify the templates that are already there, and then if needed, you can delete those templates. Okay, let's scroll back up. For the purpose of today, make sure that you have your Documents tab permissions, because during the document generation process, those new documents will be created in the Documents tab of a case for our demonstration purposes. So just want to make sure that you have at least enabled and add permissions there. Okay, so now that we have that set up, now we're going to download the NEOS for Word add-in. So I'm going to bring over into my screen the KB for this process. It's actually KB 1385. So if you want to jot that down just for your records to have that readily available. We do still recommend that firms deploy the add-in through their admin center for their 365 global admin account. This way, you really just need to deploy it once and it's deployed for all the users at your firm. But if you do choose to deploy it individually, we have the instructions down below here. And I'm going to show you how quick and easy this is. So I have the link right here, NEOS for Word, and I'm just going to go ahead and click that. Okay, and on this page, you'll see that I'm in the Microsoft App Source, and I'm just going to click Get It Now. And when I click that, that will briefly flash, and the process takes literally a couple moments, not even, and that is done from the setup side. So when I bring over this article again, oh, not that one, that's a wrong view. Let's go over to here. You will see. And here we go. There we go. You will see just how quick and easy this process is. So 1, 2, 3, and you are all ready to go. So let's take a look at the add-in. So I can click open in Word, and that will open this here. Here we go. This will just open, letting you know that the add-in has been installed and it's going to be on the insert ribbon in Word. So I'm going to show you what it looks like from online first before we take you into the desktop. So I have a blank document right here. And when I go to that insert ribbon where it was installed, you will see a NEOS group right here. Okay, so I'm going to talk you through about these different options today. And let's go ahead and just click tag, and whatever option you click very first, you're going to be prompted to log in. So you can log in with your Neos credentials here. You can also sign in with Microsoft as long as you're looking at it in online. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that single click to sign in with Microsoft. And I'm going to enter my company ID because I have multiple companies that I am linked to, which is why it's prompting me for my company ID. And you can see here that I have access to the tag pane because I clicked the tag button. Now I'm going to show you. So I'm in Word Online, but once this is installed in Word Online, I will be able to open this and use it in desktop. So I have it open here, but I don't want to do my editing for whatever reason in Word Online. I'm going to open in desktop. So I'm going to go to editing and click open in desktop. Okay, and it is going to open up this new window. And here I have it. And here it is, the same document. So when I go back over to insert, you see I still have the same options in that Neos heading. But when I click tag, I'm already logged in. So it's the same document that I was just looking at in Word Online, but now I'm using it in Word Desktop. So it's just quite seamless and it's going to save. You can see that my auto save is automatically turned on, and any changes I make here, I can go back and continue editing in Word Online if I want to. Oh, there we go. Let's get back to you. Oh, it asked me to sign back in again. So let me quickly do that. And okay, here we go. All right, so as I mentioned, there are a few options I'm going to share. There's tag, which is a single tag that you're going to pull from this list where you can search a list of tags and put it into your document for use with document generation. There is also a list of tags. So what this does is it operates very similar to tags, but you can create a list, a grouping of which tags you'd like. And then the output, when your document is generated, will show up in a table, and I'll show that in just a minute when I get to list. And then prompts are basically requests to enter information during the document generation process. So it could look something like a currency field or a text field or a select field where you can be prompted during the document generation process to enter that information. Okay, so let's take a look now at tags. So you can see here that I have this include user-defined data. And if I were to click this checkbox, you can see that there is an additional field here called case type. And so what this gives me when I click it is I'm going to see all the case types in my system. And you'll see your case types in your system. So what this allows is it allows the tags that you select to be pulled from the user-defined fields that exist in those case types. And so when you're navigating through, you might find that the tags have a unique string of letters and numbers, and those are unique, like just for those user-defined fields within the case type that you've selected. So just for the purposes of today, I'm just going to leave that off so we can go through the rest of this. And so the next option is merge type. And in here, I can choose from where the information is coming from that I want to grab the tags for. Is it related to the case? Is it related to an intake? Or is it a name? So for this purpose, I'm just going to choose case so we can continue along. And then in category, you'll see here that since I've selected case, I'm going to see case. I'm going to see a few different things. One, I'm going to see case tabs. So I'll see counsel, checklist, insurance, negotiation. If you have AI, you can pull in AI related tags. You can also pull in case staff, so staff within a case, or you can just pull in any staff. There are other options that you can choose from as well that Pam will go through in a little bit more detail. So just for the purpose of today, I am going to choose, let's go with party. Okay, and this is a subcategory that you see was grayed out before, but now it is enabled. So subcategory is available when you are choosing, let me get that off. It's available when you're choosing areas that have like party roles, for example. So the role is like a subcategory of party. It is also available as insurance. If you've selected insurance here, you'll see insurance types. And if you selected value, you would see value codes here. So anywhere in those areas, as well as provider roles, you would see this subcategory drop down showing enabled. So I can go ahead in here and I can choose a party role, for example. Now here I have the list of tags. Now, there are a ton here, and you can definitely scroll through if you'd like, but I personally like to use the search here to quickly find what I'm looking for. So let's say I'm looking for a full name. I know that the tag for full name is actually name full name. So I'm going to scroll a little because there are a few in here, but here it is. I have had my name full name. And if I single click, you can see this is the tag associated. Okay. But if I scroll a little bit down, I can insert the tag by single clicking. I can also just double click. So my cursor is here in my Word and I can just double click and now that tag has been added in. So what that's saying is when I go through the document generation process, I'm going to be looking, in the case that I've chosen, I'm looking for the full name of a party that is listed as a beneficiary as a party role. So whatever, if their party role is beneficiary, that name is going to be brought into the document. Okay. And so the other option that you have is multi-record. So you can see here, I have this insert multi-record label, and that is if you want to tag more than one record on a single document. So Pam will go through this a little bit more with you, but this is available. So if you're in party, insurance, negotiation, council, police, value, user tabs 1 through 5, and staff. So these options are available as well. Okay, so I'm going to finish out with tags and let's go to list real quick. So list operates very, very similar to tags. You have basically the same type of merge type. So I'm going to show case and then I will choose value in this instance. And since we know the values have value codes, that's why my subcategory is going to be available. And I'll just choose case expense. Now with list, you have this extra box down below. So let's say, for example, you are looking for total value, and I'm just going to start typing and it will pop up. I can single click it and click this plus option here, and it will add it to this window. Now, let's say I'm also looking for due. I can single click and add it here. And when the output is when you're going through the document generation process, the output shows a table. So I'm going to direct you again to one of my handy KB articles, which is over here, and it is 1390. And so you can see here that this is just how we provided it. We have our list. And the output looks something like this, where it will show up in a table. And you can, if you choose, with some additional intervention to calculate fields. And so we have all that information here. If you wanted to reorder them, we have that here as well. So you can do a lot with tables. So again, when you're in here, if you decide, oh, actually the due should be above the total value, you can change the order. Or if you decide that you want a different tag altogether, you can clear it out just by clicking the X. But once you're ready and you insert the list, you can see that it's a collection of those tags as one complete tag. Okay, so that looks great for list. And now let's get over to prompt. So I'm going to just click prompt. Now in the prompt, this is, like I said before, it's prompting you with a question during the document generation process. So let's say I wanted to say choose location. You're presented with these different data types. So in this instance, I might choose a select where I can start typing in the places where I would want the user to enter, select from the list. So in this case, I've chosen a list and I've chosen to select a list. So I've entered the list here. I've typed the name with a comma, space, and then the additional entries where they can choose from the dropdown. But let's say it was something else and I wanted them to choose a currency that could be entered in. They can choose a date and you can select the format of the date from here. And it can also be a name as well as a text box where they can just enter in information from there. So I think, Pam, I think I'm ready to hand it off to you and have you start showing these tags in action. Are you ready to take over?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
All right,
I'm going
awesome.
to
Thank you.
Okay. As Lauren was talking, we're going to go into actually applying what she just went over. So I'm going to share my Neo screen, and to get to your templates, you're going to go to settings and then templates. When you go here, it's going to give you your template library. The document title is the name of the template itself. Your template category is not the same as document categories. Your template category is going to allow you to categorize your templates based off of your case types, because you may have the same welcome letter and there are just a few things that are different for like a workers' comp, personal injury, bankruptcy, whatever that variation is. So you're able to set up template categories based off of your case types. The template type, is it going to be generated from the case or is it going to be generated from the intake? Then your document types are truly your document type. So when somebody creates this template and they are saving it to their case, what folder do you want that document to go into? So your document types is going to show you the actual folder that it's going to go to in your case. Next is format. Your format, is it a Word document? Is it a PDF? And then, of course, active, it is an active template. So you may have templates that you don't want anybody to use. You would mark them inactive. So we're going to start with a template that is existing to make modifications to that. So if I'm looking for a client letter, I can type the word client. If you notice at the top of each one of these columns, there's like a filter where you can filter it out, or I can just go in here and type in a keyword. So here I'm going to say client welcome letter all. When I select on this, it is going to open up my template for me, but it's going to give me my preview over here. If you wanted to make the template inactive, you just have to uncheck this button and then hit save. No, but we're going to leave it active. And then I actually want to go make modifications to the actual document. So here, when I'm looking at my template source, when I hit the I, it is going to actually open up my Word document. Now, when you go to open up your Word document, it is always going to be in the online version. I'm a desktop girl, so I like to do it in the desktop version. Please note, when you're doing templates or you're working with Word and you're looking at it through online, the formatting that you're looking is not going to be the same look as you go to print it. So I'm going to go straight to editing and I'm going to open it up in desktop. When I open it up in desktop, it's going to open up my desktop version of Word. Once the document opens, it is just going to be that. It's just going to be a Word document. Once we go here, we're going to go up here to insert, and you're going to see the items over here. So I'm going to go hit tag. When I go hit tag, it's going to prompt me to log into my system. Oops, I can spell right. So once I log into my add-in, I'm getting those same prompts that Lauren just went over. When I'm looking at this, if I'm pulling information from a user-defined field, what do I mean by user-defined field? I'm going to go back here and we're going to look at our NEOs. I'm going to go to a case. And when I go to a case, remember on the party tab, you have all your standard fields at the top. But if you have user defined, if I'm wanting to pull any of this information into my document, I need to make sure that I am pulling in and checking include user defined fields. If you do not select this and you're trying to pull in a user defined field, you're not going to see it in your list of tags. Okay. Here, how am I going to merge it? Is the information going to be at the case level or if it's going to be the intake level? So we're going to choose case, and then we have our category as Lauren went over. and our subtypes. But when I'm in this document, sorry, when I'm in this document, if you notice, I have all my tags here. But let's just say I wanted to add additional information to this document. I'm going to go to my cursor. I'm going to insert where I want the additional information. Once I do that, that's when I'm going to go over here and say, hey, what information am I going to pull in here? What am I wanting to do? So this is where I'm going to choose category. Where is this information coming from? So let's just say it's from the council tab. With the council tab, then I can choose a subcategory if we have subcategories available. If not, I can go straight here and I can type in what I'm pulling in. When you're trying to figure out what tag you need to use, when you're thinking about your case, what is the field name? So when we're looking at what the field name is, what is this field name here? If I want to pull in emergency contacts, that's the field name I'm going to look at. That's going to be my keyword search when I'm trying to figure out what tag I want to use in my document. All right. So we come back over here. If I want to pull in somebody's name and I want their full name, I'm going to type in full name. Once you type in full name, it's going to give you every single tag that has the word full or name in it. So as I'm looking down here, I'm like, oh, I want the council's full name. So I can double click. When I double click, it's going to automatically put my tag in here. All right. Once I'm finished making my updates, because I opened this on the online version, it's going to do the automatic save for me. But I'm always that person that I want to hit the extra save before I close this document down. Now that I have made my changes, if I go back here to my templates, it's still going to show me. And once I hit refresh, it's going to show me my updated information. Anytime you make any changes to a template, always give it about, say 30, 60 seconds before you go run it. Why do you want to wait 30, 60 seconds? Because once you save it to SharePoint, SharePoint's got to push back to Neos. So you want to give it that extra few minutes to update before you go run the document. Now that I'm ready to go run the document, I'm going to go to my case docs. I'm going to generate new. And we know that was a client letter. So right here, when I say template name, I'm going to use that same keyword template. And I know I went client welcome letter all. It's going to show my update. Once I hit next, these are where you get your prompts. Remember, the file name, when you're generating documents, you can rename your document. Here, it's going to ask you what attorney it is. And then it's still going to pull in all the other prompts that you had already in your template. Remember, the document type, if you set it in your template library, it is going to give you that. Once I hit generate document, it's going to go grab my template. It's going to go to my file. It's going to look for all that information in my case, and then I can open up the document. I like to use Word desktop. I'm going to hit open. It's going to open up my Word document, and any changes that I had made, I want to make sure that it's correct in my new letter. So this right here shows this was the update that I made to that document. Okay. Now, how do you create a brand new template? Same scenario. You're going to go to Word itself. When I go to Word, I'm going to open up a blank Word document. When I open up a blank Word document, it is set for me to use whatever I want. Now, if you are a firm that has electronic letterhead, you can set your system up to automatically pull in your letterhead. So if I have a letterhead that I have saved in my SharePoint, I'm going to go here to insert. I'm going to choose my tag. Now, the downside of using desktop all the time is you have to re-sign into your Neos here. But if you notice, I'm only having to tap in sales and it's going to pull everything up. Now, if I want to start off a brand new letter, and I'm wanting to pull in my letterhead by using specific letterhead that is in my SharePoint. Once I choose case, when I go here to select, I'm going to go to special. So when I go to special, it's going to give me the ability to pull in the current date, insert document, or insert PIC. If I say insert document, it's going to give me a file path right here. That's when you would go into SharePoint, find the path of that document, and then insert this information here. All right. Now, if I am generating a document wherein I want to pull in that list, so as Lauren was going over, hey, you want to pull list information in, I can change this to list. When I change it to list, it's going to give me this. So I'm going to pull it from a case. I am going to choose something from the value tab. So if I say value, choose the value, and this is when you're looking at the subcategories. So if you want to pull in all of your cost, I can type in case expense, and it's going to pull in all tags related to the case expense. So if I'm looking for that provider name, I can type in provider, if I can spell right, provider. Once I find the provider name, so if I scroll down here, remember, it's going to look for everything that has to do with that variation. So if I'm looking for a specific provider, I'm going to select provider, and it's going to populate this into my document. I have to make sure my document is over here. Once it's here, if I scroll down here, it's going to give me my list. I hit it 3 times. I did not mean to do that. So I'm going to select that, and I'm going to take it. So I only want one provider. But now let's say that I want the service dates. So I've typed in from. So I want the from date, and then I want the to date. If this is the information that I want, and I can hit insert tag. So when you hit insert tag, it takes all of those items and it's going to put it into one tag. So it's going to combine it together. Once I fix and finish my letter, I'm going to save it. When I save it, I'm going to save it to my desktop to a place where I can get to. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to save. And then hit save. Okay. Once I save my document, I'm going to go back to Neos itself. I'm going to go back to settings, go to my templates, and I want to add a brand new template. So I'm going to hit the add button. When I hit the add button, I can name it, give it a document type, the source. I always like to go to my source first. So I'm going to hit my folder. Once I hit my folder, it's going to bring up my place where I was just looking at, where I saved my document. I'm going to hit add. Now it's telling me that my document is in use, so it's not going to bring it open. So let's close the document and let's try again. Okay, this is where I get to choose my document type. I can choose a category if I only want it to be used with specific case types, and then hit save. Once I hit save, it's going to upload my document to my template library. Now, if I go back to my case, when I go back to my case, I'm going to hit generate new. When I hit generate new, I'm going to find my document name. I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to hit insert. Once I hit insert, if I had put in my letterhead, it's going to pull that information in. Now notice it's not asking me to pick anything because I want it to go to the value tab and pull in all my case cost. Once I hit generate document, it is going to go to the value tab. It's going to pull in all that information. Once it's complete, you can open the document. I'm going to open it up on my desktop. And once I open it up in desktop, it's going to give me that list view. So it's going to had went to the value tab, pulled in all my costs, and it's going to give me my list view here, where this is all of the costs related to my case. And I forgot to add the amount. That would be very important. If I had added the amount in that tag, it would give me the provider, the start date, the end date, and then the amount of the cost. Okay. Now, with templates, Neo supports Word and PDF templates. If you have the PDF editor, you can go straight into your settings, go back over here, and this document right here is a PDF document. So if I single select on this, it's going to give me my PDF document in the view. If you have the PDF editor, Neos will automatically go in here and look for all of the fillable fields. So if I go here to PDF fields, it is going to show you every one of the PDF fields that are available in this document. It's going to tell you what type of field it is. And here, this is where you can add your merge field. So if I was to click add merge field, it's going to ask me here, is it going to be a merge or is it going to be a prompt? So if I say merge, you can choose where the information is housed. Once you do that, if you want to choose a specific case type, you can, but you don't have to. And then here, it's going to give you a list of all the tags that you have available within Neos. So it's the same concept in a PDF. When you have the PDF editor, it's going to identify your fields and then the field type, and then give you the option to either create a prompt or a merge within that PDF document. If you do not have the PDF editor, you would have to do this whole process in a paid version of Adobe and then bring that into Neos. That is a separate training. If you guys have PDF documents that you want a full training on, please reach out to our training team and they can set up that training to go over how to create PDF documents if you do not have the PDF editor. But having the PDF editor in Neos makes creating PDF documents and templates so much easier. All right. Now, once you get through your templates and being able to generate a new one and create and edit existing, we're going to go back here to templates. We have email templates and SMS templates. To be able to utilize the email templates and the SMS templates, you have to have the either Neos Premium or Neos AI. What is the difference in Essential? The Premium and AI, you have the option to set up workflows and things like that within the intakes. So if I hit email templates, it's going to be that same concept that we're going to use to generate templates as a whole. So I'm going to go here to an existing one. So once I single select it, it's going to give you what looks like the body of an email that's going to come out from Neos. When you go here, you can go in here and type in the same thing. So I'm going to back out and we're going to start from a brand new template. So when I hit new template, it is going to give me a blank email body. I can go in here and say, dear, and then who am I wanting this to address this to? I want to address this to our client. So this is when you're going to hit add field. When you hit add field, it's going to say, is it going to be a merge or is it going to be a prompt? This time I'm going to use a prompt so you guys get to see what a prompt does. When I say prompt, it's going to ask you, what do you want it to say? I would say enter client's first name. Yes, I know we can tag this, but I want to show you guys how to use a prompt if you want them to do the prompt. Now, what type of data source? Is it a currency, date, name, select value, or text? So I'm going to say we're going to use a text and we're going to hit save. So when I hit save, it's going to give me dear, and then it's going to tell me to prompt. And then I can go in here and enter in the body of my email. Once I finish this and I add in all my different tags or prompts, I'm going to go over here and I am going to name my template. And I cannot spell ever when I am on video. And then I can give me my subject line. And then I get to choose my note topic. So when this email goes out, what is my topic of my email? And then once I hit save, I have the option to use this in my intakes and in my automatic workflows if you're using Premium or Neos AI. The same concept comes to SMS templates. So if you're creating email template, text templates, it's going to be that same concept. When you go here, you're going to hit new template and it's going to look like it's a phone. Now, when you're looking at this, keep in mind, this is truly a text message that's going out. So the same concept, I'm going to type in dear. When I want to add a field, I hit add field. I get to choose merge or prompt. I'm going to do a merge. It's going to come from, say, the council tab. And then if I want the name, full name, I can pull that in here. And then hit save. Once I hit save, it is going to bring my tag into the system. Once I finish, I'm going to do the same thing. I am going to name it. And then just remember, it's going to give you highlights and then hit save. Once I hit save, my text template is in here. Just a quick reminder for everybody. I know we've sent out notifications and stuff like that, but everybody remember that on June the 13th, that AT&T is no longer going to support text to email, email to text. What does that mean? So the default texting out of Neos is email to text, text to email. If you have a client that's an AT&T customer, after June 13th, I believe it is, they will no longer receive those text messages. We do have premium texting. So if anybody's wanting to learn more about the premium texting that's in Neos, you can reach out to your customer success manager. But just know that after June 13th, that AT&T is no longer going to support those email to text, text to emails. Okay. Now, if you are texting out of Neos, and I'm going to go to the party tab, and I am going to select on a text message. When I go here, I can type this out, but we also have what are called quick fills. So if I was to hit this button here, I can choose a preset template to send a text message out. So if I say contact, it says, please contact our office at this number, and I hit send. So that's going to send the text message out. Now, how do you get to those quick fills? How do we create those? So if we go to settings and we go to mini directories, and then we scroll down to quick fills. Here are your quick fills. To create a new quick fill, you're going to hit the add button. Once you hit the add button, you're going to give it a title. And then your description. So your description would be your messages. So if I go here, I promise, guys, I really can type and can spell. Once you choose your description, you hit save. Once you save that, you can go back to your party. You can hit the text, and I hit my quick fill, and now I see my new quick fill, and then I can send it out. Remember, that your text messages are going to be showing up on your notes tab. And if you have the premium texting, you can always go to your communication center and see all of your text messages that have went in and out of the firm. Now, I do have a few extra moments, and I look to see that a few people have asked about certificate of service. So I'm going to go back and we're going to talk about creating a certificate of service list. So if I go back to settings and I go to templates, I'm going to go here and I'm actually going to select a certificate of service that we've already have preset in here. So if I select on certificate of service and I open up my document by hitting my eye, remember the eye will open up the document. Remember, when it opens, it's going to be opening up from the online version. I'm going to switch over to desktop because I do not want to stress about, hey, the online version formatting does not look like the document should. So we're going to change to this. Okay, now that the document is open, I'm going to scroll right down here to the certificates. So there are specific tags that you can use in Neos that will give you all of the certificates and all of the different list views into your certificate. Now, what do I mean by that? If I go back to my case, if I go to the counsel or the attorney tab, these are all the attorneys that are listed in my case. When I go to each of these records, I'm going to say Joe Lawyer represents Matt Rogge. With here, where it says certificate notice of filing, I can put these people in any order that I want. So I want Joe Lawyer first. If I go to my next record, Joe Lawyer also represents Pam Hodge, but I want it separate. And then I can go through that. As long as the counsel is on the counsel tab, the order that you want them to populate on your certificate and who they represent, that information is going to pull into your template. Now, if I go back to the template itself and I open up this version, when I go here to hit my insert and I'm looking at my tags, it's going to have me sign in. You can go here. You're going to do it from a case. When you go through the case, you can choose your counsel. You can choose all those special. So if I go counsel, and then right here, it says certificate of service order. If I double click this here, it's going to automatically put it in my document, and it's going to put it in the order in which I have them on the case. Now, there are several different variations. You can do it in a paragraph form. You can do it in a list form. So you get to make that choice. So you just choose which tag that you want through the counsel to pull in your certificate. So you have certificate order, you have it in a list view, or you have it in a paragraph. Okay. All right. I know prior to the academy, we had several people ask about if-then statements. I want to address that in this academy because yes, you can create if-then statements in your templates. However, that would be a training by itself because it's considered advanced coding. So if your firm is interested in learning if-then statements to use in your templates, please contact the training team. They can set you up a training to specifically go over the if-thens because there's a whole bunch of formatting and a whole bunch of things that you guys need to know ahead of time. And if you're not used to creating macros within Word, it can get a little complicated. So Anybody who wants to learn about if-then statements, contact our training team. If you already have if-then statements and you're having issues with it and you need somebody to troubleshoot it with you, you can contact our support team and they can take a look to see if it's, the way it's inserted into your template. Okay. All right, Miss Lauren, I am finished up with my portion. Once Lauren goes through the knowledge base articles and talks about that, if we have any time at the end, I may grab a couple of questions from the chat. One thing I will say, Lauren, we did have a couple of questions at the beginning. People wanted to know, hey, how did she get or how did she find knowledge base
Saw
1385?
that. Yep.
So when you're doing that, if you could go over that, I would appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you. Let me share my screen. Okay. All right. So we left last we left off was back in Neo. So I'm going to start up there again. So let's go ahead and I have a case open. And let's say, for example, I'm here, I'm about to start the document generation process, but I might have some additional questions. I can click the question mark icon up on the top right, and you can see that I have some suggested articles based on the location. So this might be perfect for this instance because it's about generating new documents. I can click into this article and it will open up a new tab. I can also access a video tutorial. So I'm on this view, but let's say I go ahead and actually I'm in this tab now and I have some additional questions. You can see that this window has changed. And now it can walk me through the document generation wizard. So if you just want a quick tutorial about how this works before you just jump into it, go ahead and click through there. You can also access the support portal right from here. So let's go ahead and click into there. And okay. And just as a reminder, if this is the first time you're accessing this view, since we've made some updates, this What's New pane will fly out, letting you know about recent changes that have occurred. So I'm going to close that for now. So just a reminder there. You may notice that some of these icons have been reworked. So I hope these are visually appealing to you and put a smile to your face because some effort went into those. So, okay, so we have our icon refresh here. We also have our Neos application status page. If you haven't seen this yet, go ahead and take a look. This will give you the current Neos system status as well as if there's any scheduled releases. So both our, there's any our larger product releases or any maintenance releases that we want to share with you, we'll put those in there. You can subscribe to those notifications. So you can subscribe to individual notifications, or if you just want to have all the subscriptions, if you want to get subscriptions for all the updates that we're making, those can be subscribed to as well. And any major incident notifications will be there as well. So go ahead and take a look at that. We also have our Neos University. If you haven't taken a look there, it's a great resource for just becoming a pro user of Neos. And we have a few different courses. It saves your place and it's all free. So go ahead and take a look there. And your Credly badge will be available to you that you can use in your like LinkedIn or wherever you'd like to promote that. One other quick note is on the Learning Hub. The Learning Hub, this is a great resource. I love this resource. Not only does it include videos about all areas of Neos, but if you're ever didn't get a chance to sign up for a Neos Academy and you want to take a look at the previous ones, you can just go right here and all those videos are located right there. So of course, you'll get an email if you have been signed up for the Academy, but if you happen to not have a chance to sign up, you can always access them right there for your needs. Okay, so from there, let's see here. Okay, let's go back over to our portal. And last but not least, on this immediate screen is our training. As Pam mentioned, if you are interested in getting a full walkthrough of using those advanced document coding, we do have a KB article for advanced document coding, but if you would just like a start to finish of how it all works and how it can work for your firm, I would definitely take a look at that training link right here where you can schedule training for your firm. Okay, so let's head over into the knowledge base. And that is going to open our handy window up right here. Oh, and while I'm here, I didn't have a chance to mention this while I was in the Learning Hub, but this is a great view to navigate to. So our URL for our Learning Hub has changed, and this is important just to note. If you have this right here, if you have this window, this URL bookmarked, let's say you have it saved as a favorite, you'll just want to make sure, and I'll just bring up my window here again. You'll just want to make sure that you update the link so that this way you are always accessing that information without any issues. But for now, it will redirect to the new link, and this link has been updated as well. So just make sure that if you have that bookmarked, that you make that update. Okay, so as I have shared many times, we have a ton of articles in here, great information across all areas of NEOS. So for the purposes of today, we went through, I'm just scroll all the way down, we went over to the Word add-in and all of that information regarding prompts, lists, tags, multi-record tags, and even that advanced document coding is all located here. Now, I personally like to keep this set to last updated. So this way I have the most recently updated information at the top. Now, some of you asked, how do we get to those article numbers? So let's just use this one as an example because this one is a really great resource. And I'm going to also point your attention to the very bottom just because this one, we can get to the bottom here. This one has this exact article, but as a document. So all these tags you're seeing in here, these are just screenshots. So it may not be ideal for you to copy and paste from here, but what you can do is download this version, which is a Word document of this exact article, and you can copy and paste those tags accordingly. So how do we find the article number? Well, we're going to go right over here to this print, and you're not going to print, but you're going to grab it right from here. So just kind of ignore this view right here, but in this quick URL here, you're going to see the article ID number. So it's probably going to be a 3 or 4-digit number. And all you really need to jot down is that exact number. So I'll know that wherever I am, maybe I'm in, the value tab. I know that I can just type in 1586 and be directed right to that article. So definitely a great resource. Use that to jot down any articles you want to reference to later. And then last but not least, in addition to that, we also took a look at our template setup. So accessing SMS, email, and just the template setup as a whole, where we are storing all the templates that we create, and as well as PDFs in the template setup. So definitely take a look here for some more information. And I think that about covers it, Pam. So I'll pass it back over to you.
Okay, so I've been frantically answering some of these questions for people. All right, so one of the questions was to show how to send an email template again. So just know that if you do not have premium or Intake Pro, you can't use the email templates. And if you just have regular texting, you can use the quick fills, but the SMS and the email templates go hand in hand with the Intake Pro, which will move up to your cases. So you're able to set up some case automation where making when you complete a task, it can trigger things to do within the platform. If you want more information on that, you can reach out to the training team, but you can set up automatic workflows within NEOS if you have premium or AI. I know a lot of people are asking about the certificate of service. the council's name being last name, comma, first name. I will have marketing send out the tag that you guys can use in your certificate of services to pull in first name, last name. So you'll be able to insert that into your certificate. So your certificate of services come out correctly. I told a couple of people I would send it to them, but after several people have asked, I will definitely have marketing send out those tags when we send out the recording to the bigger group. And let's see what else is there. I think everything else was answered for the most part. Just know when you are creating your certificate of services and you're using the tags, if the attorney is representing multiple people, or if the you put in 3 different attorneys representing the same person, it will merge them together. So I'll make sure that all those tags go out with this recording to assist everybody. Again, if you guys want to learn more about inserting documents, if then statements, please contact our training team. You can do that from the portal and create or request a training specific to templates and if then or insert docs. It will give you the pricing on the website. Does anybody else have anything right now? I know we're a little early. We have like 5 more minutes. So, okay, it looks like a couple of people are asking, Lauren, a couple of people are asking about how to find the KB article numbers when they're looking for the knowledge base, and also how is there a way to mark them as their favorite?
Yes, so I can share my screen really quickly again if you'd like. So let me just go over to here and we will get that up again. Okay. Right. So when we are in the knowledge base, again, to find that article number, we're going to just click the print icon and that article ID equals is either a 3 or 4-digit number. And that's how we can obtain that number. As far as bookmarking it, I don't believe there is a way at this time to bookmark the article, but you know, definitely utilize the tree view and also the search. So once you have the article ID number, then you can go right to it. But if you kind of familiarize yourself with the tree a little bit, you'll be able to kind of navigate maybe better and see, where that article lives. And then, it'll be kind of in the forefront of your mind, just saying like, oh, I know that templates is, or document coding is going to be in Word, kind of like that. So that's my suggestion. If anything changes, we'll let you all know. Back to you, Pam.
All right. Okay. Looks like there's quite a few questions coming in. Let's see. I'll take one more question. All right. Those are all about certificates. Raina, is there a specific question that you see that keeps getting asked over and over other than the tags for certificates?
Let me see. Sorry, I've been
Okay.
trying to focus on
No, that's okay.
answering them as fast as
No,
possible.
that's okay. I do see one where it says talks about the certificate of service. When you don't want a counsel to appear on your certificate, when you're looking at the number where you want them to appear in your letter, I'm going to share my screen real quick and we'll go over this and then we'll close it out. All right. So when you're on the council tab, right here where it says certificate and notice of order, if you put a 0 here, that council will not appear on your certificate. If you want the person or the group together, so if you want 4 different attorneys to appear as number 1, if they all show 1, they're going to group them together. So this right here, your certificate and notice of filing is going to be important as you guys are setting this up. So who's going to appear on your certificate and who will not appear on your certificate. All right. All right, guys. Well, if there are any questions that we have not answered, we will get a list of those questions and then we will email you guys directly. And again, once the recording is downloaded and ready for distribution, we will email that to all attendees. And I will get marketing to add those specific tags, since we had so many people asking the same question about, the different tags when it comes to certificate of service. All right. Thanks everybody for joining Neos Academy. Don't forget to sign up for next month. And if you guys need anything in the meantime, please don't hesitate to reach out to your customer success manager, or if you're having any technical issues, please reach out to our support team. Hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for attending the Academy.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right, bye-bye, guys.